Hey guys, it's Radlin Mendoza, immigration attorney here at Gardner Mendoza, and we are doing a Facebook Live party to answer your questions about applying for U.S. citizenship. So, it is a beautiful, gorgeous day here in Virginia Beach. Just stopped raining. The sun is peeking out. I think it's about 64 degrees, so I'm feeling really good right now. So right now, we're going to, if you have any questions, put them in the comments and I will answer them. I do understand that it is almost Christmas week. Well, actually, it is Christmas week. Christmas is on Tuesday. So maybe not a lot of people will show up to this party. That's all right. I'm good with that. You know, my ego won't be hurt. I'll come back on and have more people. But if you guys are out there and you want to ask me a question, I'm here. And I'm going to talk a little bit about applying for U.S. citizenship until I get that first question. If I get that first question, Shelly's here, by the way. She's here. She's the technical support. Hopefully it's actually working. Is it working, Shelly?
It appears to be working.
Appears to be working. Awesome. So a couple of things that have come up recently for me when people are coming to talk to me about applying for U.S. citizen. One thing is that one of the clients, I was very surprised, actually more than one client has said, I thought that I had to remain in the United States for 3 years before applying for U.S. citizenship and not leave the country. A couple of clients have actually missed trips out of the country because this is what they thought had to happen. So I just want to dispel that rumor. If you think you have to remain in the United States continuously and not travel out of the country in order to apply for U.S. citizenship, that is incorrect. So, you know, there's a lot of brother and sister and friend lawyers out there. They're not really lawyers. They've gone through the process, and maybe you ask someone and they'll say, oh yeah, but you can't do it this way, you can't do it that way. If you have any questions, I mean, this is super important, right? This is not like what is not important. I don't know, everything is important, but this is important. So don't take the advice that your next door neighbor is giving you about U.S. citizenship, even if that person has gone through that process, because every single case is different. Actually printed out a question that we got, Shelly. It's on my desk.
Do you want to read it?
No, I don't want you to read it. All right. Okay. You know what? Okay. Let me back up a little bit. It is really hot in this room, or I just don't know. There's so many people at the party right here in this office that it's so hot. All right. So got a question, and first things first. Okay. The question was, hey. The question was, how do I get my spouse U.S. citizenship? You know, I want my spouse to become a U.S. citizen. Now, a lot of people ask this question, and then we get the facts a little bit. I'm like, hold up, he's not a lawful permanent resident yet. So if you're married to a U.S. citizen, and you know, a lot of times the U.S. citizen spouse will come to us and say, hey, you know, my spouse is whatever the situation may be. Spouse is on a student visa, spouse is undocumented, spouse is here on a tourist visa, whatever the situation may be. And they come to us and they say, I want to make him or her a U.S. citizen. Well, first things first, that person has to become a lawful permanent resident first before applying for U.S. citizenship. So I know that may just be what people call lawful permanent residents. U.S. citizen, completely different things. And I just want everybody to be clear about that. If your spouse does not have lawful permanent residence yet, they have to do that first, that process first, in order to apply for U.S. citizenship. Okay, so that hopefully that answers that person's question. You got to go through lawful permanent residency first before getting U.S. citizenship. And this is a common misconception. In fact, my husband-in-law partner, John Gardner, he told me in court this week, he had a police officer who said, hey, you know, his client had was driving without a driver's license. And the police officer said, why can't your client get a license? He's married to a citizen. Once you marry a citizen, don't you automatically become a U.S. citizen? No, that would be incorrect. And a lot of people think that. A lot of people are like, okay, marry a U.S. citizen, no matter what status you're in, you can become a U.S. citizen too. That is absolutely incorrect. And I want to give a shout out to Ray. Ray is the only person. Ray's my 7-year-old daughter. She's on school break, Christmas break now, and she might be the only person watching me right now. But I don't care. No, we got a couple people. How about some questions for those who have just joined? All right. So let's see here. All right. Another thing that has, another issue that's come up with me recently is that people will say, hey, I didn't apply for U.S. citizen because I heard that once you apply for U.S. citizenship, you cannot leave the country. So that's very similar to the first issue. There seem to be just a lot of misconceptions. Hey, what's up, girl? A lot of misconceptions about when you can apply for U.S. I'm sorry, what the travel restrictions are after applying for U.S. citizenship. So there are no travel restrictions after you apply for U.S. citizenship. Just please don't travel out for more than 6 months. So that's a different issue. I'm not going to get into that unless we have a specific question. Thanks, guys, for being here. Awesome. So you can file your N-400 application. And if you need to take a trip after that happens, then by all means, take the trip. It's not keeping you here. And you're free to travel. You just have to make sure that you're on top of your biometrics notices. Make sure that someone is checking your mail. If a biometrics notice comes in, then while you're out of the country and you're not there, you can still get your biometrics done. It's not like they're going to deny your application if you do not appear at your biometrics appointment notice. In fact, if you don't show up, the USCIS office will automatically reschedule that 2 weeks after if you don't appear, okay? So another thing that comes up, I've got all the questions and answers here. I'm amazing. All right. I knew I had to have some questions because I knew y'all wouldn't have any questions. Because you guys are shy. It's okay. And do we have a question? I'm going to answer that question later, Jimmy. All right. So another thing is, some people say, hey,